While I was searching for an idea for my next video, I stumbled upon this website that was featured as Site of the Day on Awards last December. The site has a lot of strong animation work throughout, but what really caught my attention was the contact page. Instead of treating it like a boring text block, the entire page is built around an infinite stream of contact information, a small block of text that continuously flows upward as you scroll. What makes it interesting is how this text reacts near the center of the screen. As each line reaches that midpoint, the spacing between the label and the value starts to expand, almost as if the icon sitting in the middle is pushing the text away. Once the line passes that focal point, the spacing collapses again and the next entry takes its place. That simple idea, letting content react to a fixed visual anchor, felt really fascinating to me, so I decided to break it down and see if I could recreate a similar experience using GSAP and ScrollTrigger. After experimenting with different approaches, I ended up with building this infinite scroll interaction where the text continuously loops, the spacing dynamically responds to scroll position, and the central icon updates as each line passes through the center. In this video, I'll walk you through how to build this entire effect from scratch using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript powered by Lenis, GSAP, and ScrollTrigger. If you'd like to access the source code for this project, along with hundreds of other similar micro projects and a brand new website template every month, you can check out the Pro membership via the link in the description. And if you find my work helpful, I would really appreciate it if you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Alright, let's jump into the code. Let's start with the HTML structure. First, I'll create a section with the class contact visual. This section is going to stay fixed on the screen and act as the visual anchor for the entire scroll interaction. Inside that, I'll add a div with the class name contact icon. This element is going to hold the icon that sits in the center of the screen and updates as we scroll. Inside the contact icon, I'll place an image tag. You can use any image you like here. I just downloaded a few fancy shapes from Figma community resources. I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to use the same ones. Next, I'll create another section called Contact Info. This section is going to hold all of our contact details, and this is the content that will continuously scroll through the viewport. Inside this section, I'll paste some placeholder content. Each item is wrapped inside a div with the class name Contact Info row. Each row contains two paragraph elements, one for the label and one for the value. This two-column structure is important because later on we'll animate the spacing between these two paragraphs as the rows pass through the center of the screen. And since each row follows the same structure, it makes it really easy to target and animate them consistently using JavaScript and ScrollTrigger. That's pretty much all we need for the HTML. Now let's move on to the styling and start shaping how this looks on the page. First, I'll import a single font from Google Fonts. This will be the main typeface used across the entire layout, keeping everything consistent and minimal. Next, I'll define a few CSS variables at the root level. These are just 3 base colors, one for light text, one for muted secondary text, and one for the dark background. Then I'll reset the default browser styles. I'll remove margins and paddings from all elements and make sure everything uses border box sizing. After that, I'll hide the scroll bar. Since this experience relies on smooth scrolling and visual flow, we don't really want the scroll bar competing for attention. Next, I'll style the body. I'll set the main font family, apply the dark background color, and set the default text color to white. This creates a strong contrast that helps the text stand out clearly against the dark background. Then, I'll define some global image styles. All images will fill their containers and scale properly without stretching, so they always stay centered and proportional. Next, I'll style the paragraph elements. I'll keep the text relatively compact, tighten up the line height slightly, and reduce the letter spacing just a bit. Now let's move on to the contact visual section. I'll fix this section to the viewport so it always stays in place while the content scrolls underneath. Next, I'll center everything both vertically and horizontally using Flexbox and hide any overflow so nothing spills outside the frame. Inside that, I'll size the contact icon container and position it relative. This gives us a stable reference point for the icon that sits in the middle of the screen. Next, I'll style the contact info section. I'll make it take up the full viewport height and stack all the rows vertically. Using Flexbox, I'll center the content and add some vertical spacing between each row. This section is what actually scrolls while the layout stays fixed. Now I'll style each contact info row. Each row is a flex container, centered horizontally with a small gap between the two text elements. I will also add a will change hint for the gap property since we'll be animating that value later on scroll. Then I'll style the paragraphs inside each row. I'll give both columns equal width so the layout stays balanced. The first paragraph, the label, is right aligned, while the second one uses a muted color to visually separate the value from the label. Finally, I will add a small responsive adjustment. On smaller screens, I'll scale down the text and reduce the size of the central icon so everything stays readable and visually balanced. And that's it for the styling. Now that the layout is in place, we can move on to the JavaScript and start wiring up the scroll-based interactions. First, I'll import the libraries we need. I'll bring in GSAP as the main animation engine. Then I'll import ScrollTrigger from GSAP so we can tie animations directly to scroll position. And finally, I'll import Lenis, which we'll use to handle smooth scrolling and infinite scroll behavior. Next, I'll register the ScrollTrigger plugin with GSAP. This step is important. It lets GSAP know that we'll be using scroll-based animations later on. After that, I will initialize Lenis. I'll create a new Lenis instance and enable infinite scrolling. This allows the page to scroll endlessly without ever hitting a hard stop at the top or bottom. Then, I'll connect Lenis with ScrollTrigger. First, I'll listen to Lenis' scroll event and tell ScrollTrigger to update whenever Lenis scrolls. This keeps both systems perfectly in sync. Next, I'll hook Lenis into GSAP sticker. This ensures Lenis updates on every animation frame, keeping scrolling smooth and consistent with GSAP's timing. Finally, I will disable GSAP's lag smoothing. This prevents any unwanted delays or jumps, especially when scrolling quickly. Now that scrolling is set up, I'll grab a reference to the contact info section. This is the element we'll duplicate to create the infinite scroll effect. Next, I'll define a value called contact row max gap. Here, I'm checking the viewport width and assigning a slightly different maximum gap value depending on the screen size. This gives us a bit more control over how much the text expands on larger screens versus smaller ones. Now comes the part that actually creates the infinite scroll illusion. I'll loop a fixed number of times and clone the entire contact info section on each iteration. Each clone gets appended right after the original. By repeating the same content multiple times, we create a long, continuous stream of identical rows, and when combined with Lenis infinite scrolling, it feels like the content never ends. At this point, infinite scroll is already working. Next, I'll grab a couple more references. First, I'll select the contact visual section. This is the fixed element that sits in the center of the screen. Then, I'll select all the individual contact info row elements across every clone. These rows are what will animate as they pass through the center of the viewport. Next, I'll define a small helper function called getVisualCenter. This function calculates the vertical center of the contact visual section. We'll use this value later to figure out exactly when a row is approaching, reaching, or leaving that central focal point. Finally, I'll loop through each contact row. Inside this loop, we'll start creating ScrollTrigger instances for every row, and this is where we'll control how the spacing expands and collapses as the rows move through the center. First, I'll create the first ScrollTrigger for each row. This trigger is responsible for handling what happens as a row approaches the center of the screen. I'll use the row itself as the trigger element, and for the start and end positions, I'm calculating everything relative to the visual center we defined earlier. The important idea here is that we are not reacting to the top or bottom of the viewport, we are reacting to the center of the fixed icon. By doing this, the animation feels anchored to the visual element, not the scroll container. I will enable scrubbing so the animation stays directly tied to scroll position. This means the spacing won't animate on its own, it will respond continuously as you scroll. Inside the onUpdate callback, I'll calculate a gap value based on the scroll progress. As the progress increases, the gap between the two text elements gradually grows. This creates the effect where the text feels like it's being pushed outward as it moves closer to the center. Then I'll apply that value directly to the row's gap style. Next, I'll create a second scroll trigger for the same row. This one handles what happens after the row passes the center. Again, I define a new start and end range, slightly offset, so this animation begins right where the first one ends. Instead of increasing the gap, this time I reverse the logic. As the row continues moving upward and away from the center, the spacing gradually collapses back to its original state. Splitting this into two separate scroll triggers gives us a lot more control over the motion. It avoids sudden reversals and makes the expansion and collapse feel smooth and intentional. Now that the spacing animation is in place, I'll move on to the icon update logic. First, I'll select the image inside the contact icon container. Then I'll set up two variables. One variable keeps track of which icon is currently being shown. The other stores a reference to the row that was last centered on the screen. This second variable is important because without it, the icon would update repeatedly while the same row stays near the center. Next, I'll listen to Lenis' scroll event. I'm using Lenis here instead of native scroll event, so everything stays perfectly in sync with our smooth scrolling. And set this callback. I'll start by calculating the vertical center of the viewport. This gives us a fixed reference point that represents where the user's focus naturally is while scrolling. Then I'll set up two helper variables. One will store the row that's closest to the center, the other keeps track of the smallest distance we have found so far. Now I'll loop through all the contact rows. For each row, I'll measure its position on the screen and calculate its vertical center. Then I'll compare that position with the center of the viewport. If the row is closer than any previous one and close enough to actually feel centered, I'll mark it as the current closest row. By the end of this loop, we know exactly which row is visually aligned with the center of the screen. Finally, I'll check whether this centered row is different from the last one we stored. If it is, I'll update the stored reference, increment the icon index, and swap the image source. This ensures the icon updates once per row, exactly when that row passes through the center, not before and not repeatedly. And that's it. At this point, the scroll interaction is fully wired up, the content loops infinitely, the spacing reacts to a fixed visual anchor, and the icon responds dynamically as each line passes through the center of the screen. Hope you found the video helpful. See you in the next one.